Hey guys, we're back. Sissy the home cook chef with Zamariyae. And now our dough has rised and doubled in size. So now what we need to do is we have to cut it in half, and then we're gonna roll it so we can get it nice and smooth and looking, and then we're gonna let it rest and everything, and it's gonna rise. But this is what we're gonna put it in. Where it says to put it in a small like loaf pan, as we know, we do things big. So we'll be making a big old sandwich loaf of bread out of ours, okay? So instead of having two, which is what we're gonna normally would do, we're gonna take this right here and fold it down and roll it and tuck it in to make one big, nice, long loaf of bread. Okay? So well, that's where we're gonna show you how you do the bread shape. So now, first thing we need to do is take a little flour, put it on the table. And when we put this on the table, this is what we're gonna do. We gotta lightly flour our table, okay? So this is lightly floured. And we're lightly floured so that it doesn't stick, okay? We don't want our dough to stick. And we want a smooth looking top, because if we don't get a smooth looking top, we're gonna get some holy bread. You know, holy. Thank you, Jesus. 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 Holy. So, but as you can see, here's the table, lightly floured. Okay. So now, Zamariyae, let's push that over there. That's the flour. And here, let's take this top away. Now, before we get ready to do that, I'm going to show you our next step. Okay? We're going to take, hold this, Zamariyae, and we're going to spray. Normally, I would take just the butter and just rub it on the sides, but this is a butter flavor spray, so we're going to take it and spray our pan. Uh-oh, again, there's the aerosol. That's the reason why we use the regular butter. So we could just spray it in there. You guys, I tell you, you got to coat it good, because if you don't coat it good, when that bread gets ready to cook, it will not slide up where it needs to slide to, okay? And then here it is, nicely covered.
And yellow.
And everything like that all the way around, right? Yeah. Looks pretty good to me. All right, so we're going to sit this to the side. Sit over there, Zamariyae. And remember, sanitation. Yay! Okay. So our dough doubled in size. Here we go. We'll put that right there. Doubled in size. See that? So now, what we're going to do, we can move that out the way. We got to punch it down. And when you punch it down, it begins to look flat like that. But this is what we're going to do. Punch it down, lightly punch it down. And then we're going to have to take it and we're going to have to roll it. Okay, let me show you. I'm going to show you how to do this right here, because I'm going to teach her how to do this. So on the next loaf, that she can do it, we're going to pull.
Oh,
We're going to do the long loaf. So we got to make this nice and smooth. And we got to, like a baby's bottom, and we tuck. So now that we got it long, we got to make this the size of that pan. Let's set our pan next to us, Zamariyae. Here's the pan. And can you see that pan? Okay, let's see if we can get that pan in there so you guys see the pan. And we got to make that loaf the same length as this pan. Okay? Okay? So we got to pull it and lightly. See, now this normally would make two, like 2 by 4 by 8 little loaf pans. But as we do it, we always do things big. So we get a chance to roll it. And then what you do with the ends, you fold the ends and you begin to tuck the end like this. So you make it nice and smooth. You got that end tucked? Okay. Lift it and roll it. You got it tucked in? Make sure you tuck it. Tuck those ends. So when you're tucking them just like this, that way it won't come out. It'll stay just like that. Now, see this right here? This is not smooth to me. So this is what I got to do. Lightly stretch it. Yeah. So anybody wants some long sub sandwich loaves? Cut this baby in half. Go ahead and dress it up with all the fundamentals. Okay, sauce it up. So now what we got to do, we're going to cover it and we're going to let it rest. But we're going to put it over here in this pan to rest, to watch it double up. So now we got to lift this up and put it over in our loaf pan just like this. Okay, and we're going to make sure that it fits in the whole loaf pan. Just like that. Now, it's going to look like that.
Well, I'm trying to get what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep work area clean.
So Zamariyae is going to collect all the flour. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Here you
That
go.
wasn't right. You was just holding like this to show it.
See? Just like that. Now we're going to take this and we're going to recover and seal our pan. And we're going to let this here rest for 10 minutes. Then after we let it rest and double in its size, guess what's going to happen? It's going to go into an oven of 375. Now somebody would say, girl, why are you putting the oven on as hot as it is outside? Because sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Grandma,
Yeah, baby.
how long will it take?
To rise in the oven? Well, in the oven, it's going to take about 30 to 40 minutes to cook. Okay? And we're trying to get this bread right here so we can split this bread before she leaves. I don't want her to think I'm going to let her get away with this whole loaf of bread. I got to try some of Zamariyae's bread too. Okay? So then I'm going to take this here towel and lay it over top of it. And we're going to sit it back out in our little warm area. And then I'm going to let you see it before I put it in the oven. Okay? There we go. That's the next step. All right? She'll be right back. Now you say, where are your warm oven? Guess what? I have an area. See, if I was in a business, I would use what they call a warming box. Now, somebody would say, what's a warming box? A warming box, huh? Awesome. A warming box is a little bin that you stand in. It stands up on 4 wheels, and bakers use it to make things rise. We began to put our stuff inside of the little warming box, and it's set up with so you can slide trays or whatever it in. And you put it in there, and you put water in the bottom of it, and then it's normally plugged up and it's set at a certain temperature. And it stays at a certain temperature all the time, so you don't have to worry about fluctuation. So when you use the warming box and stuff and you put the little water at the bottom, the water makes like a moisturizer, and the heat gets the moisturizer, and then you leave it where it's excess size on each side of it, and you cover it with a little cover. And when you cover this box and everything like that, the box began to let everything rise at a certain time, and then you go back for it, and it done double or tripled in the size that you're looking to have. So that's a warming box. And so from then on, then what we do is we'll take it, and you want to make sure that your oven is at 375. But what I always do, I always start mine on 350 because it all depends on where you are and the temperature that you have. And who all is cooking. Like if you were baking early in the morning, you was at a bakery, and say that you had other businesses around you, well, guess what? To use commercial ovens, they have it at a certain temperature because the fact that what happens, a lot of people use them at a certain time, the gas can fluctuate if it's a gas oven to use. And so what we do is right now, everybody should have been in stock cooking for the day if they cooked at all. So we should be able to have a good temperature with our oven set, and we are using a gas stove, and we're gonna program it for 375. And like I said, I'm gonna do 350 because after you do it for 350, it'll get a nice golden crust on the top of it, just like you buy at the bakery. And I'll let you see the finished end of it as well, because I'm sure we're gonna want to put some butter on that bread. But don't forget, get you some strawberry jelly too, because I'm telling you, strawberry jelly and butter on homemade bread. Mm-mm. And that's coming from what? And this is what we're using for strawberry jelly. I'm a smucker girl, but guess what? If the jelly is good, the jelly is good. This jelly right here is good, and you can get it at Aldi's right here. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to pay much, and you still get the good taste of strawberry preserved jelly. When I tell you, go to Aldi's, you can get Aldi's jelly, and it'll do real good with some butter on some homemade bread. And this is Zamariyae and Sissy, the home chef cook. And we'll be right back at you. All right?
Wait.
Oh, Zamariyae got another question?
Can you tell them about the pancakes?
Well, Zamariyae want to share her pancake story. Go ahead, Zamariyae.
One morning, we were ready to go somewhere. We didn't go, but we were Grandma asked what we were gonna have for breakfast. She said we're gonna have pancakes. So I asked, can I make them? I thought it was gonna be box pancakes, but she had her own recipe of pancake mix. So we just mixed a whole bunch of ingredients, which I'm not gonna tell because that's first. And so she made this one recipe for syrup because we didn't have no syrup. It was really good.
Mm-hmm. Can't tell you that one either, because you have to stop by here in order to taste what I got taught you.
Mm-hmm.
But when I say it makes pancakes jump alive in your mouth, nothing like a good homemade recipe pancake mix. And then on top of all that, make some homemade recipe for the jelly. Mm-mm. Kids were bouncing off the wall, and so was I. And I think we made about, in all honesty, we made about 40 pancakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 40 pancakes.
What?
Because we have some doggies that love pancakes too around here.
Can I tell them the names?
Sure.
There's one named Sugar Baby, one named Milo, one named Rainbow, which is right here next to me, one named Sweet Pea, and one named Custard.
Mm-hmm. Now listen to the names.
Custard is a girl. I hope y'all pray for her because she's sick.
Mm-hmm.
And Sugar Baby is a girl. Oh, can I tell them their ages?
Sure. But what I love about their names is, guess what? It all deals with food. Can you believe that? Custard? What do you think about custard? Ice cream. Mm-hmm. Sugar Baby.
Sugar.
I remember there was some candy named Sugar Babies. Mm-hmm. A rainbow. What do you think about rainbow? Not only the rainbow in the sky, I think about cereal. From what? Lucky Charms and what? The rainbow. Yeah, Fruit Loops too got the rainbows. Yeah. And then Sweetie Pea. Can you believe that? Sweetie Pea means it's good and sweet. Now with Milo, he just like to eat and don't knock his fries off the table coming over to buy his plate. Okay?
Milo is a boy.
He's a boy, and he just sits back and wait for whatever he can get. He stays low. And he don't mind being low.
Can I tell them their superpowers?
Yeah.
So Sugar Baby and Milo are the two biggest dogs in the house. And Sugar Baby, she is a protective master dog. And so she protects the house. She bites anybody she don't know. And Milo, she lets people in, but don't let them come out. Can you tell them the story of what happened with the little boys?
Oh yeah, a long time ago. Matter of fact, a couple of years ago, we had some kids that came in and wanted to steal the pears off my pear tree. Yes, they did. But guess what? They came in and Milo allowed them to get all the pears, but they couldn't get them out the yard. And he kept them in the yard for about 6 hours. No matter where they went, they couldn't get around him, couldn't get the pears out. But he allowed them to come in, but they couldn't get out. And then I taught them a lesson too. Guess what? We don't believe in stealing when you can knock and ask. That's what the word of God says. Knock and the door should be open. Seek and you shall find. Ask and it shall be given unto you. All he had to do was knock on the door. I would have opened it. All I had to do was ask. And I would have told him, yes, we could get you some. Okay? Didn't have to steal. But I spanked their hind end for coming in my yard trying to steal my pears.
She set him in the car and called the police and went to the kid.
And then I told the cops I would spank them again if I catch them in my yard again.
Yeah.
And those young boys to this day respect me. And it turned their life around to where they did not do those things anymore. And one of the young men graduated from high school. He's sitting off in college right now. And that other young man is still going to school. He used to be his last year. And every once in a while they stop by to say, how you doing? I say, I'm doing good. And I let them know I'm proud of them. But now they ask for my pears. They don't try to take them.
Yeah. The little dogs were just, they're inside dogs.
And they're tiny little dogs with big attitude.
Mm-hmm. Sweet Pea, she's really nice. She just lays around. Rainbow, she's really, like, she barks at people she don't know or just walking to the house. She even barks at me sometimes. I don't know why. But she's doing her job. That's what Grandma says.
Yeah. She's doing her job. And that's what we have to do. Do our job.
There's 3 baby dogs and 2 big ones. 2 big ones.
Mm-hmm.
She used to have another girl. That's Milo's sister. But she gave it to her pastor to make her pastor happy. And he wanted a dog.
Mm-hmm.
She's nice.
I love dogs. I love children. I got to be real with you though. Some children can get underneath the skin. But you got to learn to teach them. And as the word of God says, spare the rod and spoil a child. Sometimes you got to pop them on the bottom and get them in the right direction. But after they get a certain age, they learn how to listen and be obedient. And it's better to be obedient than sacrifice. The word of God teaches us he chastens those that he loves. So if God can chastise us, what kind of grandma would I be if I did not chastise the ones that I love? Mm-hmm. So until we come back to show you the finish end, which will be in 10 minutes. 10 minutes, this bread should be done rolls up. Have we been talking 10 minutes? Not just yet, but in about a couple of more minutes, it's going to be 10 minutes. And that loaf of bread should have been done rolls up some in that pan to where all we have to do then is just throw it in the oven. Oh, I got to turn the oven on. You guys, hold on one moment. I'll be right back.